Right guys, Dan Hendrickson here. I am still in lockdown and I thought I would do a little series of clubs in the attic. Now, first up for this particular week is going to be the Callaway X12 Iron. Now this is a 1998 release from Callaway. It's a club that I found up in my own attic. It's one of my dad's old golf clubs. He had the full set of these, 2 iron right the way down to sandwich, I think he had in the end. But I thought what I would do today is do a compare between the Callaway X12 that was released, like I said, in 1998, and compare it to the current Callaway Apex Iron. Now, very, very similar in the type of marketing that they would have done for the type of people that they were trying to sell to. So let's get these outside, get them in the studio and put them as a head-to-head and see what they do out there. Let's get outside and look at the numbers. Callaway Apex Forged to kick us off with now. Now remember, before we get going on these numbers, that this club here at a 7 iron is 30.5 degrees in loft. .162 carry, spinning it at 5.7 on the spin. So for that particular loft, that's about the right sort of spin. It's quite a powerful looking iron. If you think about 30.5 degrees in loft, you're going to see it going out there probably close to where my kind of 6 iron would be in my current set. If we compare it to the X12, better looking shot, put it a little bit high on the face. Not much not to like about the look of this club. It's a good looking club, not a great deal of offset, nice sort of thickish top line but not too intrusive, and the feel off the face is as good as anything really. 168 going, spinning it at 5.5, that's going to go long, back bunker there. It's just a powerful 7 iron, this Apex Forged. But a great feel off the club face. Yeah, let's have another couple more hits with this and then start to get the X12 out and see how that compares. Yeah, maybe just up the right slightly. 162 carry, 6.5 spin. So again, just keeping that club face a little bit open just gives me that little bit more spin, just delivering a fraction more loft into the shot. Again, one more with the Apex Forged. Yeah, great strike. That's probably going to be long. 172. That's almost carrying back bunker. Is it going to carry back bunker? Yeah, pretty much. Got right into the back bunker. 27 degrees of loft on that last shot. Carrying that 172 or 171, something along those lines. Spinning it 5.5 in the spin. So really low knuckleball sort of shot out of there. Don't know why, but I'm just really excited to hit this club. It's been so many years since I've had a go with it. I mean, first impressions looking down is it's very, very thick top line, lots of offset, not really my kind of cup of tea, but oh, that feel off the face. Now remember, this is 33 degrees in loft. That's sort of 3 degrees difference between what we're getting out of the Apex and then what we're getting into this X12 range, but such a good shot there, first shot out the bat. Spinning it at 7.2, carry 157, so straight away we can see the difference between these two clubs off the sort of from the numbers that we're getting from those carry and spin numbers. Oh, that feel is as good as anything I've ever hit. It's such a good feel. You can see why these clubs were, you know, pretty sought after back in the day when these first kind of arrived on the market. That feel off the face. I mean, a lot of good players used to use these clubs. I think Colin Montgomery even used these clubs for a long time. Whether he had the Pro Series range, I don't know. 161 spinning it at 6.6. That's like, it's as good as anything I've ever hit. That's pretty much on target, that one. I mean, don't get me wrong, the look when I look down on them is not fantastic. It's not everything that I want to see from an iron, but that's why they had the Pro range, you know, the Pro version of these, to sort of just slimline it down a little bit. But if you were to get over the sort of look of them, the feel off the face, again, another green hit,
spinning it around sort of, well, that carried like 158, spinning it at 6.7. You know, with that type of strike, that is as good as anything that I've kind of got in my own set. Okay, let's have one more with this, see if we can get it nice and close there, shall we? Oh, such a good strike. That's going to go a little bit longer. 162, that is my number. 162, that could go in. Oh, I hit the flagstick. 162 carry coming out of the quad, 6.8 spin. That's just, it's perfect numbers for what I want to get from a 7-iron. That's just perfect numbers. Let me just stay out here and hit a few more shots, get some numbers on the iPad, and we can talk through those inside. I've got to say, after hitting these clubs, I mean, nothing has felt as good from what I've hit over the years compared to what I've just got out of that X12 iron. That is an absolutely fantastic bit of kit. I cannot believe how good that felt off the club face. Taking all the sort of visuals to one side, put the visuals to one side, because it was designed for a market that was maybe slightly different to me, but ultimately you got to remember there was a lot of very, very good players that used these clubs back in the 1990s, and I can absolutely see why they did. The quality of the strike, the pureness of the strike off the club face was just fantastic. Let's have a little look at the numbers of what we're getting from these two irons as a compare. Now remember what I said, that the Apex was at 30.5 degrees in loft in this particular head, and the X12 was at 33 degrees. So even though that seems like it's a little bit weaker than what we're getting out of the current 7-iron of the Apex, back in those days, you've got to remember, an old 7-iron would have been about 37, 30, possibly even 38 degrees. So to start bringing them forward, you can see this is the start of the chase for distance from these irons. If we look at the Apex to start us off with, ball speed 118 as an average off the club face, launching it at 20.6, and then spinning it at 5.7. Now, for that particular loft at 30.5, that's pretty good. I mean, that's where my sort of 6-iron would be spinning at from, and kind of where the launch would be from my 6-iron, which is around sort of 30 degrees in loft. So if we then compare it to 165 in the carry, again, absolutely what I would expect to get from that particular Apex. If we then look at the X12, now I'm expecting to see this, which we can see from the numbers here in a minute, but I'm expecting to see this launch a bit higher, spin maybe a fraction more, and maybe drop off in its yardage. And it absolutely is doing everything that I thought it would do. 21.9 degrees in the launch angle compared to 20.6 out of the Apex. It's spinning it 1,000 revs more, so spinning there at 6.7, absolutely where I would want to put a 7-iron. Absolutely spot on for me personally. Again, peak height's 38 yards high compared to 37 from the Apex, and carry at 158. So again, 160 is the best of what the carry I got from that X12 iron. But if you look at what it's getting from the spin and the launch and the ball speed, those numbers are as good as what I would expect to see from it. Such a great little experiment that we've done there with those two particular irons. You know, to be honest with you, they're both not in the kind of range of what I would want to get from a golf club, as in like the looks of them, maybe a little bit thicker on the top line. But for your golfer that it's marketed towards, golfers that want a little bit more confidence when they look down at a golf club, maybe looking at a bigger profile of club, these absolutely tick the box. But what you could see there from what was happening over the years, you know, from 1998 to now 2019 when this one was released, you can see that the irons are getting pressed forward as much as they can, trying to give you as much yardage. Is there really a big difference between these two particular clubs? I don't think there is. You know, if you were to put this at 30 degrees in loft or 30.5 degrees in loft, the spin would come down, the launch would come down, and the yardage would go up. I think it would just go in a very similar number to what this one got, what the Apex got. From a visuals point of view, absolutely the Apex wins it hands down from what I want to kind of see from an iron. But from a feel point of view, I've got to say the X12 wins it over the Apex. Let me know, put your comments down below. Are you using either of these clubs? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Remember, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And as always, stay safe, and I look forward to catching up with you again soon.